Okay, everyone, I'm Hood, so today's video for you is what you see in the title. We bring you the lens of East German Zeiss 135s 3.5. I haven't seen you for a long time. I haven't updated the video for a long time, because I've been lazy before. In fact, I have prepared a lot of footage, but I haven't had time to record the video this time. The main reason is that the body of my M42 bayonet was sold to me. Then I thought that the fuselage had been sold, and there was no video of the manual lens of the M42 bayonet. I haven't released the video of one of the three swordsmen of East Germany in the old scene, and I think I still have to release one, but I also think that since I want to use this lens, I have no other body to use now. I made an adapter ring, and made an M42 turn. I am now using the integrated RF adapter ring, so I choose the Leina adapter ring. Let's take a look at the adapter. Okay, and then right here, let's take a look. First of all, I think the appearance and the red label does not look very. Then it has a very good design. You can see that this lens has and that is to say, it can be switched as long as it fits the film body. When you close the aperture, whether you keep the maximum aperture or close the small aperture, it will display this in real time. Because sometimes you know that when we shoot we will choose some such as f11, then in the case of a sunny day, the sunlight 16 the absence of band at this time. The double small aperture may not be very, and some machines are old, so the viewfinder will, so when you turn the switch of this machine to A, you can keep it at the maximum forever. And then through mechanical, when you press the shutter linkage, do not let it zoom out but at this time, if you switch to the digital body, this thing will become a burden, because before you know it, if you go to A, you will find that no matter how you turn, its aperture will not change. This may be a little fleeting to your shooting, and it will cause some trouble so it is the Leina switch ring. It's a version with a baffle, so it can block the mechanic and keep it forever. As long as you turn the aperture, it can shrink the aperture in real time. Because we don't need the digital camera to view at, and generally speak, because it is impossible, it can be monitored in real-time exposure. Look in the real time. So after talking about there is nothing wrong with the adapter ring, as long as it is strong enough, and then the infinite. So the main thing is to talk about this lens will show you a lot of samples while watching the samples. Let's talk about the maximum fiber f, which is a relatively normal fiber range. Even the largest fiber of S3.5 is not too large and too heavy, because it is already fixed and if it was like that era, if it was a larger aperture, then its closest focusing distance comes to 1 meter, basically. About 1 meter, maybe a little bit more than. I think this scale is. And then the capital focusing distance. For a 135 you have to use it as a macro, but for me, it's transferred to the apps camera. Then it is no problem to take flowers and plants, and it is enough. The feel of the aperture, although the aperture ring is completely metal, the teeth feel hard, especially in winter. It may be, but the damping of the optical fiber is very good for my lens, even though he is so old. Then the light focus ring still feels very good. Then the fiber optic, it is damped with a click. This is not the kind of non-polar I have always felt as a photographer, as the main lens is obviously more comfortable. Then it comes with a hood, and we can pull it out, and then we can retrieve. But this is already relative. You could be dangling out and dangling. Of course, this is not because after all, it is impossible to Then we can take a look at its front group coat. The coating is quite. I think the color of the coating is quite beautiful. I think the color expression of this color is still how to say. If you want to say German flavor, I think it is still very. In general, its size is relatively, and its weight is also good. So it is very small. If you are playing the film machine, of course, I think it is a very worthwhile choice of telephoto lens. Because to tell the truth, The film M42 and a 135 is enough. You can't expect to shoot birds with this kind of fuselage. I think 135 is enough for me. So when you transfer to the digital body, what don't you want to take when you go out? I don't have any other portable in my hand now, but I always want to every time I go out. I will put it on the adapter ring and take it in my bag. Because it is small and does not take, then the weight is also relative. So when you need a long-term app, it can also be emergency. About tape is enough. Well, then for me, it's the picture enough to use. Then the words of the suburbs can only be said to be relatively general for the old lens of that era. The safety is still relevant. I think the price of this lens should be more affordable now. And there is nothing too much to criticize. Overall, a very fun shot. If you only have a digital camera, I don't think it's worth buying one. But if you have an M42 and you switch it to digital then both bodies can be used. The M4 can also be transferred to any micro want or some of the current Well, today's scene is also just watch more samples. That's all for now. I'm Hood. Goodbye, everyone. Yunjujun, Ancient